Okay, and so the recording will just record me. So we're going to start with some standing exercises before we go to the bench, and then we have our impacts. So that's 3 segments here where we're going to be standing. So let's start standing, feet hip width apart now. Squeeze your seat, your belly, your urinary muscles. Okay, and then we're going to circle the shoulders back and back. And then palms forward. We're going to take a breath in through the nose, out through the mouth. A breath in, arms halfway down and out. Reinforce that squeeze. And then we're going to go over to the side and reach up, thinking of stretching in the rib cage. To the center, palms are forward. Keep that squeeze and reach up and back to the center. Over, a breath in, a breath out, a breath in and reach, a breath out. Then I'm going to just bring my hands, let them drift back, pull my shoulders back. You'll feel your shoulder blades come closer together, and then I'm going to loosen the neck, a breath in, out to the front, a breath in, look to the side, keep your seat contracted, a breath out to the front, in and out, and in and out. Another breath in. Tighten, tighten, tighten in your core. A breath out. And then chair where you can just touch it with your fingertips. And we're going to do some toe raises. So weight towards your first and second toe. Firm ankle. So the ankle not wobbling at all. Really firm, but with the weight on the inside of your foot. So the ankle's not bowed, ankle very straight. Okay, now where you can reach your chair, we're going to do some back leg lifts. So keep facing forward. I'm going to turn slightly so you can see me. We're going to tap one foot back. Your chair's there if you need it. We're going to use the seat muscle to lift that leg a few inches. Lift and tap down, a lift and tap, lift and tap, and a lift and bring it in. Then just stay facing forward, chair is right there where you can place the fingertip if needed. We're going to go to the other side, so that tap to the back, a mostly straight leg. Shoulders stay facing forward. Just using that gluteal muscle to get a few inches of lift and lower. And kind of moving fluidly. So gently lift, gently down, gently lift, gently down. And then bringing those feet together. So tight seat. Let's do a forward bend with a knee bend. So feet separated, we'll do a breath in. As we come down, arms to the front, and we're going to stick the seat out and just bend down, fold over your knees, and let yourself dangle your hands toward the floor. And then we'll come up and unroll. Coming up and circle back. And now what we want to do is turn the chair. So now you are facing me, standing behind your chair. As we're going to bring the hands to the seat of the chair. I'm going to turn sideways so you can see me better. Okay. My ball out of the way. Okay, making sure there's room behind you because we're going to be kicking one leg out to the back. Okay, so let's go ahead. I'm going to step back from the chair, maybe 1.5 or 2 feet. I'm going to bend my knees a little and lean forward and grab the chair. So I'm just grabbing around the corners of the chair that I'm checking. I want to get my feet right under my hips. I'm going to now pull my belly in and I'm going to flatten my back. Let's curl the back and let's flatten the back. And keeping the back flat, I'm going to lift one leg to the rear. I'm trying to keep it straight, maybe even point the toe. And I'm going to bring it down. And then I'm going to lift my other leg to the rear. So quite a bit of seat contraction and some balance there on one leg. And down. Then let's curl the back. Flatten the back, kind of stick the seat out. I'm going to take one hand and move it up to the back of the chair. Now the opposite leg, I'm going to lift to the back. And then I'm going to reach that hand straight out. So now I'm really balancing on one leg and one arm. I'm going to bring that down. Take the other hand, put it on the back of the chair. Opposite leg. Lift to the back, reach out with that hand on the chair to the front and balance for a moment. And then we'll bring that arm down and bring that leg down. Okay, let's go ahead, other hand to the back of the chair, bring the leg out. And then reach out. This is a great core exercise, great balance exercise. And then we'll bring the hand back to the chair and we'll bring the leg down. Other side, hand, opposite leg, and then reach out that arm. And then we'll bring that arm down, bring that leg down. Okay, now we want to practice, we're going to practice kneeling by the chair. So here, let's take one step forward, one step back a little to the ball of the foot, and see if we can bring the knee to the floor. So we have this chair here to help. Now we want to see if we can lift that knee. Let's step forward, step your other leg back on the ball of the foot, and bring that back knee down. So all kinds of support and help here on the chair, very much like a lunge here. We'll come up and step forward in each leg again, that back, gently down, and maybe you don't go all the way, that's okay. And up, step forward, come back, and lower, and up, and forward. And then we'll go ahead and come up. So that last exercise uses a lot of muscle strength and one of those very important skills for getting up and down from the floor. Let's take a breath in. Squeeze your seat, squeeze your belly and urinary, and out. A breath in and a breath out. So with that, kneel or lunge at the chair. That enables you to get up off the floor. If you can get over to a chair or a piece of furniture, get yourself up and grab, and it gives you the ability to get up yourself or to help someone else get up if they've fallen and they appear to have no injuries. Okay, now, if you have a bench, we're going to start using the bench to stand on. At the end, if you don't have a bench, then I'll ask you to get out a book or something like a placeholder on the floor, but not yet with the book. So if you don't have a bench, you can do all of these exercises just on the floor. We're going to put the chair up here where we can reach it. Ball to the side. Okay, and we're gonna, if you have a bench, we'll stand on the bench, but if you don't have a bench, please stand on the floor. We're just gonna stand up on the bench, and we're gonna think of practicing some lunges. So let's go ahead. We're gonna start with the back lunge. So your chair's right there. You can see you could easily reach it. We're gonna nudge, nudge, and then we're gonna come back up to the bench. It's a little bit harder with the bench. Back lunge, nudge, nudge, and a spring back up. Now for a variation, we're gonna do a back lunge, and we're gonna do a knee lift. So just watch. You can hold your lunge, 1, 2. I'm gonna try to do it. Whoa, didn't do it. 1, 2. Knee lift, 1, 2, knee lift, and then I'll come back to the bench. Let me do it on the other side. Back lunge, chair's there. I'm going to try to tap my knee, tap, tap, down, tap, tap, to the bench. Okay, a breath in. Let's try that on each side if you want. You could also be doing this on the floor without the bench. That back lunge to the ball of the foot. We'll do a few bounces to get a feeling for maybe bouncing up, tap, tap, back to the floor. And this time we'll go tap, tap to the bench, tap, tap to the bench. Feet separated, hip width, chair right there. Let's go to the other side. Back lunge, nudge, nudge, tap, tap, nudge, nudge, tap to the bench. Now your body's kind of getting used to it. Let's try it one more time. Back lunge, nudge, nudge, tap, tap, nudge, nudge, tap to the bench. This leg now, that back lunge, nudge, nudge, and then 2 taps, tap, tap, nudge, nudge, tap to the bench. Okay, good work. A breath in and a breath out. Okay, and now we're going to do some back and forth over the bench. So your chair's there. And if you don't have a bench, we'll be lunging forward and backward on the floor. So let's go. We've got our back lunge figured out. Let's see if we can go to a front lunge, stepping to the front. Up and over to the back, up and over to the front, up and over to the back, and this time let's go up on the bench if you have one, right to the center. All right, let's go to the other leg. We'll start to the back, up and over to the front, up and over to the back, up and over to the front, up and over to the back, and then we'll come up to the bench. Okay, a breath in, a breath out. And now, if you have a book, you're going to put it on the floor. If you have a bench, you're going to turn it sideways. And we're practicing stepping over side to side now. So with the chair, you put it right in front of your book or your bench. I'm going to move mine so you can see me. So let's try that. So it's up and over. I'm standing fairly close to the bench, both feet on the floor, or fairly close to your book, or could be possibly a small pillow, something like that. We're going to step up and over, leaving enough room for your other foot between you and the bench. And we're going to shift our weight over, and we're going to hinge, and then we're going to push the seat forward and step over. And let's go back the other way. A step, leaving a little space, side lunge, and over. We're going to add a variation where we do an elbow to the knee with that. So it's that step, going into the side lunge. We're going to bring the hands up, and then you might want to watch, I'll do it more than once, elbow to knee, like that. Okay, let's try that, an elbow to knee, step out, and then we'll shift and come back. Let's do that again, a step, shift, elbow to knee, and down, and then let's bring it up and over to the same side. Okay, and we'll go to the other side, a step, arms up, I'm doing that hinge, hip back, chest forward, elbow to knee, and then I'm going to step over. I'm going to go back to elbow to knee on that side one more time. Step, whoa, no I'm not, the side, shift, coming up, and over. Okay, a breath in and a breath out. Let's breathe into the toes. Okay, so your chair is supposedly right in front here. Let's just step up next to the chair, or you can put your hand there if you need it. And let's do a lift and a grab, hand on the chair if necessary. And we're thinking of stretching the hip, like pulling that knee up, stretching in the seat. Lift, pull, and a lift, pull. Okay, all right, little straightening and bending of the knees, and we're going to put the bench or your book away. And we're going to now go to our impacts. So for these, you want to be on a less cushioned part of your floor. Lift about 8 inches. Sometimes it's fast, sometimes it's slow. But you want to get that lift and that impact once you've warmed up, enough of an impact to squash a spider with your heel. And so the force is mostly in the heel. Okay, so let's add some music and get our impacts, about 150 in each leg.
Las cosas de la vida hay que cogerlas suavecito, evita siempre los excesos, anda calmado, la gozadera con medida, ay, que si la fiesta se repleta, vamos por otro lado. Las cosas de la vida hay que cogerlas suavecito, evita siempre los excesos, anda calmado, la gozadera con medida, ay, que si la fiesta se repleta, vamos por otro lado.
Calienta. Nos fuimos ya a bailar pegado. Dice tu cuerpo agenda el funky sin tumbao. Nos fuimos ya, todo el mundo ripiao. La vieja escuela con los chamas coordinados. Coge. Se pone lo que
faster.
Esta noche me voy al
Jog if you
BBB.
can.
Si tú quieres salir a bailar,
Even faster.
no demores que ya están sonando.
Y ya se escuchan los tambores del monte.
Ya estamos llegando,
No tengas miedo si la luna se esconde.
vámonos sin frenos, querido.
A bailar pegado, dice tu cuerpo que no hay funky sin tumbao.
Other side.
Nos fuimos ya, todo el mundo ripiao, la vieja escuela con los chamas coordinados. Macho más, la academia.
Let's try. Lift, top, 1, 2, lift,
Aprende,
top, 1, 2,
dice,
lift,
dice.
top.
Y se pongo la botajera, ritmo con salsa es lo que hay, regalado pa' cualquiera. Para que te alimentes, bien sabrosura la criolla desde Cuba, cocinada por la abuela. Si no sabes de dónde tú vienes, para dónde tú vas. Si te dicen que eso no es mentira, ya que hacer rascadito está inventado. De que el cuento aprende de tumbao. Oye, tengo yo lo que anda. ¿Qué dicen por ahí? La flecha. Aprieta. A bailar pegado, dice tu cuerpo que no hay funky sin tumbao. Nos fuimos ya, todo el mundo ripiao, la vieja escuela con los chamas coordinados. A bailar pegado, todo el mundo ripiao. A bailar pegado. Si tú no sabes, no me preguntes cosa.
Okay, that's one of the songs I forgot to put on my playlist for stomping last week. So I have to send that one out. I really like that one. It's a good pace, fun to listen to. Okay, so now we're gonna, you wanna have your ball nearby. Actually, let's put it between the knees. Okay, and I'm right in front of my chair. I'm actually touching my chair and I'm centered. I'm looking down, I'm checking, and I have the ball between my knees. Because with sitting, one thing we want to do is keep the knees separated. Separated about as much as the feet. If that's difficult for you, one way to work on that is to put something between the knees to help hold them out there. Okay, squeeze your seat, belly urinary, and we're gonna go part way down to the chair, and then slowly the rest of the way. Let's take a breath in, and a breath out. Circle back, the shoulders, and so we get nice and stretched through the rib cage. Heart is open. Pull the arms back a little and hinge at the hips. We want to get that lift off the chair to come up. And we'll go down, and then we start to put the brakes on with some pausing. Pause, 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 and then down. Let's put the hands on the knees. Let's straighten the elbows, straighten the back. Kind of pull back. Think of, if you can, imagine arching in your upper back and then curling in your upper back. So if you're curling your upper back, it's not like bending all the way over. It's straightening and even arching a little in the upper back, and then a little curl in the upper back. And then that pulling back, a little arch, hinge at the hip. See if you can push yourself up. We'll come down, come down. I'm gonna bring my arms back. Touch if you need to, and slowly to the chair. I'm gonna kick one leg out, kick the other leg out. I'm kind of pulling my hands behind me to spread the collarbones and working on the knees for a few minutes here. Okay, and then I'm going to take the ball. Briefly, it's going under the chair. Then we're going to come back to using it again. Take your shoes off. Okay. Okay, let's bring the hands to a fist, halfway forward in your chair. So if your back is strong enough, not leaning back, but if you need a little break, you can lean back for a while and do the exercises. But if your back is, back and neck are not hurting, we're sitting in the middle of the chair without support, okay? We're going to stretch up, a breath in and out. Punch up, stretch, a breath out, and a punch up and out. Now I'm going to fully straighten one elbow and bring that in, fully straighten the other elbow. So this is a moment to actually think about your belly and your seat and urinary muscles contracting, but focus on fully straightening your elbow. It's not something you do often, but really making sure the elbows will fully straighten. Okay. And then we're going to bring the hands down and we'll separate. And we'll lean forward, and then we'll do that full curl where you tuck your chin, pull in the belly, you look towards your lap, and unroll through the lower back, middle, unroll through the upper back, and pull your shoulders back, and then do a little extra push forward in your upper back, pushing your heart forward, and your gaze shifts up just a little. And then we'll lean down, tuck, pull in, curl, unroll through the lower, middle, upper, and then your neck, and then push your heart forward, your shoulders back, keep your chin tucked, but a little upward gaze. Let's do a breath in and a breath out. So just working on strengthening and kind of flattening through the thoracic spine, which wants to curve and wants to curve forward quite a bit. Okay, now we're going to come forward a little. We're going to tip back. Okay, and we're going to do some hamstring stretch, which is the back of the thigh. So let's pull and give a pull. You could either be behind your knee or in front of your knee. Really pull in the belly and the seat muscles. Okay, let's go behind the knee. Let's straighten and lower to where your knee is straight. So checking in, it may be up here, it may be down here. Find that spot where you can straighten your knee, and then we're going to flex and point in the ankle. So that flex of the ankle gives a little extra stretch to the back of the thigh. So let's point, and now use your arm strength, keep the knee straight. See if you can pull higher for more stretch now. And then a flex of the ankle and a point. Flex and point, flex and point. Now really pull in the belly, maybe a little more lift with the straight knee, and then we'll just take the hands away and we'll lower that. Let's go to the other side. So that pull, kind of loosening in the hip, getting the hip ready for this big stretch. Then we go behind the knee and we straighten, and we find that spot in your lift where your knee is fully straightened. Then we'll flex and point. And as I lean back on the chair, I'm thinking of tucking my chin a little, trying to keep my shoulders wide. Okay, I'm going to point now, and I'm going to lift and still keep my knees straight, a little more than I did originally. Flex and point, flex and point, flex and point. Pull in the belly a little more, and then I'm going to let go of it and slowly lower. Okay. Now I'm going to do a sit up from the chair, scoot back a little, and I'm going to bring my ankle over my knee, or if that doesn't work, I might bring it a little lower, or if I have a footstool or something to put my foot on. If this is not possible because of hip flexibility, you can put the side of your foot, the outside of your foot, on a footstool or something a little lower. But up here, I have my foot down here on the floor right under my knee, and now I've got to straighten my body. I'm going to take a breath in, stretch up, get really strong and straight in my trunk. I'll bring the arms down. I'm going to hold on lightly to the chair. I'm going to circle that ankle one way and then the other way. And then I'm going to come forward, one hand on the ankle, one hand on the knee, elbows in, so the elbows right along the trunk. And then I'm going to, with a flat back, stretch forward, hinge at the hip, and I'm feeling a stretch in the back of this hip. A breath in, a breath out, and lean a little further. My arms are giving a little overpressure to help me come forward. Back is flat, so my gaze is a little to the front. So I'm not looking down toward my leg, but a little out. And then I'm going to come up, and then I'm going to approach it from the leg side. I'm going to pull on the ankle and lift that leg up and kind of try to close in toward that leg, like a clamshell sort of, to get a little more stretch. Okay, then I bring my hands down, and then I'm going to use my muscles to unwind that leg and bring it down to the floor, straight back, elbows back, shoulders back, belly in. I'm going to bring my other ankle over the knee. Get that position. Okay, let's a breath in and reach up, stretching and lengthening in the spine. Keep that length in the spine as you bring your hands down, shoulders widen, and hold on lightly to the chair, and then circle for range of motion, your biggest motion possible in that ankle, slowly, and then the other direction. Okay. And then we'll bring the hands forward, ankle, knee, elbows in, flat back, and we're going to hinge at the hip, fold over, getting this really fantastic stretch in the outer gluteal area of that leg. A breath in, a breath out, maybe fold a little further. And then coming up to that straight back, and then I'm going to pull on the ankle, lift the leg, and with a straight back, kind of clamshell my body toward that lower leg and coming up, and then another pull and up. And then bringing the hands down, use your belly nice and firm to bring that leg slowly and carefully to the floor. We'll pivot out, up to the toes, touch the toes, the knees, and come up, out, up, down, squeeze, up, down. Okay, then scooting back in your chair, just slide back, lean back, and we're gonna finish with fully straightening the knees here. So that kick out and a full straightening of the knees to keep knee flexibility and knee health. Okay, and then let's go ahead, get our balls. Okay, and we're gonna work on the upper body and the back using the balls. And I do want to add some music for this once we just review a few of the movements. One movement, a little different, is we use both hands and I kind of cross my fingers, push the ball in to my upper abdomen by pulling my elbows back. So the elbows stay in, and then turn to one side and turn to the other side. So I'm halfway forward in the chair, feet and knees just a little separated, so I can work on these abdominal muscles with that rotation. And then 3 exercises for the back, reaching up, over to the toe, reaching out and a lift for the back, over for flexibility, reach out and a lift, and we're going to swirl a bit, and then we'll reach all the way down to the floor, both hands, put the ball down, twist, catch with both hands, and lift. So this is a back flexibility exercise. Roll it, both hands, and lift. So always using both hands. So your back really has to move. And down, roll, catch, and up. Bring my feet in a little. And now I'm going to twist again. But this one is a punch and a twist, and watch the ball with your eyes as you touch your chair. Core muscles firmly squeezing, all of them. With this, makes this more effective. And the squeeze. And then we'll do kind of an around the world, which is for all the trunk muscles. And we can go the other way. Okay, I would like to work with music now, just because it's a nice challenge to follow the music and to follow me. So we'll use a ball. You can do this without a ball. That would be just fine. But we'll be following some movements here. Okay, halfway forward to the chair. Start straight back and all your core, belly, urinary seat, all squeezed. So we're trying to hold that for the whole time. And we're going to start wide shoulders, and we're going to be lifting the ball to the side, down, side, down, side, down, side, down, up, clean, center. For your trunk, side bends to the chest, and now for the elbows, fully straighten. Now for the shoulders, big backward arm circle, other side. your belly. We're going to twist front. Really get your core involved. And over to the foot. Over and down. Reach and up. Other side. And up. Now for a little relaxation. We're going to swing it. And now we're going overhead. And behind the neck and up. Down. And up. And down. Up to the foot. Now for that rolling catch. Roll and catch. Up, down. Roll, catch. Lift, back, down. Roll, catch. Lift, back, down. Roll, catch. Lift, and out. Different exercise. We're going to curl, press back out. Turn, curl, push back out. Turn, curl, push back out. Turn, curl, push back out. Floor, waist, up to the front. And now a steering wheel. Turn and turn, turn and turn to the floor. Up, okay, looked nice. Nice fluid movement, way to follow along with a few surprises. Okay, let's go ahead. We're done with the balls. We're gonna put on our shoes. We're gonna stand and we're gonna work with the elastic bands. Ooh, we'll get our shoes on. We're gonna sit just another moment. I forgot this special core sequence, so we can leave our shoes on, and we want to be, if you're still have the trunk strength for it and the neck strength, we're going to sit halfway forward in the chair. Especially to start with, we do an exercise where it's really important to be halfway forward. After that, if you need to scoot back every now and then and scoot forward, that's perfectly understandable. Okay, we are going to start with the hands on the knees, and then we're going to straighten. And when we reach forward to hands on the knees, we want to avoid reaching with the shoulders. The shoulders are staying wide, so the reach is just a straightening of the arms. And then we're going to do a back strengthener, a breath in. As you breathe out, a curl, but not your biggest curl, tucking your chin, a breath in. Here's where you really want to work it. The back muscles, pushing your belly, pushing your chest forward and widening the shoulders. A breath out, bit of a curl, a breath in. Really using the back muscles all the way into the upper back. A breath out, a breath in. Keeping the chin tucked, even though we're pulling back a little. And then we'll go to neutral and take a breath. And then we're going to just bring the hands up here. And we're going to do a circle motion where you lean back, brush your chair off to the side and to the front. So a circle around. So it's like your seat is the tip of an ice cream cone and your upper body is going around the edge of the cone. And we're going to switch sides. If that's okay for you, you can make it a little harder by bringing your hands up. We're trying to keep a straight back, belly, seat urinary really contracted as we add these forces for the core muscles. Okay, and then we're going to bring the hands down to the front of the chair, and we're going to do a knee lift, and then we want to make it a little harder. We'll bring the hands up, and you feel there's more work in the abdomen. And I'm doing these knee lifts slow and controlled. It's very deliberate, very smooth. The lowering and the raising very smooth. And then I just raised my hands, and now I'm going to add a rotation with that. A turn and a turn to involve all the muscles in the abdomen with that. Then I'm going to go to a tippy toe as I do that turning, and I feel my lower abdominal muscles added to the effort. And then I'll bring the hands forward, a breath in, a breath out, in and out. Then I'm going to circle my face to relax the neck, making sure the shoulders are wide, shoulders are down and back, and then I'm going to circle the other way. I want to just relax the neck. That lifting the arms creates some tension in the neck. Now I'm going to bring the arms back up. I'm just touching the back of my ears. Okay, and I'm going to lift, pull the elbows back, pull in, seat, urinary belly, and I'm going to go to the side with the nudge, nudge. This is working with the muscles on the sides of the body, nudge, nudge, and a nudge, nudge, and a nudge, nudge, and a nudge, nudge, and another way to work on the sides of the body plus other muscles, a nudge, nudge. So now you feel adding toward the front of the abdomen as well as the sides of the body. Okay, bring the arms down, circle back, and we'll do a few sit-ups. I think we'll save those. Okay, so we want to get up from our chair, get your bands. And we're going to start with an archer-like move. We're going to be focusing with the bands more on the triceps and the upper back. So for this move, your hands are about as far, apart as your trunk. We'll bring them both forward, and then we pull back with one elbow and then pull back with the other elbow, almost like you have a bow. And if that's too easy, you can move your hands closer together, or you could even double the band. Okay, and we're going to do that with a back lunge. So I'm coming toward the front of my chair here. I'm going to bring my hands out, straighten. I'm going to keep my shoulders right over my hips as I come back on the ball of the foot. And I'm going to do a pull and a pull. And I'm going to come forward. I'm going to go back on the ball of the other foot, bend both knees, tighten my seat, weight in the front heel, a pull and a pull and a step forward. Back and forth again, pull back, seat firm, weight in the front heel, come forward, step back, shoulders back over the knees, pull, back over the hips, pull, and a step forward. Okay, And then just facing the front, I'm going to separate my hands a little more. A breath in and out. A breath in and out. So loosen in the shoulders. Now I'm going to get ready to do a front lunge. And for that, I'm first going to separate my hands and then bring the hands together at the front of your chest and practice one arm forward to a fully straight elbow, the other arm forward to a fully straight elbow. So as we do a front lunge. So I stand near the back of the back side of my chair and a step forward to a flat foot, ball of the back foot. Shift the weight to the front heel, add your core muscles, fully straight, push off the heel, come back. Other side, step. Could be a small lunge, could be a big lunge. You could even just stand, fully straighten the elbow, fully straighten, push off the heel, step, nudge, nudge, squeeze the core, front heel, push, push, come back. And the last time, and it's a straight elbow, fully straight, front heel, core squeezing, and coming back. Okay, we're going to bring this to the front. Stand tight in your core and turn, and turn, and turn, and turn. Okay. Now, hands same position, and we're going to do a side lunge. And as we do the side lunge, we're going to straighten to one side twice. And when we lunge to the other side, we'll straighten twice. On that side, this also, we're thinking of going to a fully straight elbow. This one starts to involve your upper back muscles also. So we'll come to behind your chair, or you can do a side lunge. It's that up and over, and shift your weight, but don't let the hip go out. Hip comes in. Hinge at the hip, chest forward. Let's go out to that side, fully straight elbow twice. And then we use the muscles to bring the hip forward and back to the center. We'll go to the other side, step, hinge at the hip, chest forward, straight, straight, hip forward. Try for that careful return. We'll do each side again, step, hinge, straighten, straighten, push the hip forward, in, out, shift, hinge, straighten, straighten, and coming in. Whew. And as we stand, let's go overhead a few times. Let's nudge. I have my feet separated. And keeping my heels on the ground, I'm nudging a few times. I'm going to hold that nudge. And I'm going to bring my hands here, and then I'm going to go overhead. Squeeze your seat, squeeze your belly, squeeze your urinary, and trying to go to a fully straight elbow. Working on those lifting muscles where you have to reach way up high. Okay, all right, and then let's take that in a circle. Tighten your seat, so your hips stay forward. We'll put that down. Let's open and close, big backward arm circle. Spreading and closing the fingers as you go around, and other side, open and close. And let's circle in the wrists one way and then the other way. So working on that grip strength with the bands is just really good, but just gotta loosen up. Okay, palms, fingers spread, palms forward, pull back. We're getting ready for our 5 deep, vigorous breaths. Add your seat, belly, urinary, in through the nose, out through the mouth. That's 5 times. Okay, and then loosen up. After those lunges, it might be your knees. After the deep breaths, it might be your neck.